In the news tonight, a plea for parents to be more vigilant with children to help avoid a life of crime. Close to 40,000 tons of sugar cane so far delivered by Barbados Sugar Industry Limited. And in sports, Barbados Pride ended as runners-up in the West Indies Championship, claiming the $100,000 second prize.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom with CBC NewsNight. In our top story tonight, a call for parents to do more to keep their children away from a life of crime and violence. It comes from Member of Parliament for Christchurch West Central, Adrian Ford, who, along with several other MPs and constituents, held a march against crime. It took place in Mr. Ford's constituency, a member of 13-year-old Shonatan Chase, who was recently shot dead in Silver Hill, Christchurch. Akeem Klinkett was there, and he tells us more.
Minister Ford, flanked by other parliamentary colleagues representing neighbouring constituencies, appealed to parents to step up and do a better job. He says that the crime in this country is not in keeping with the Barbadian way, and there is a need for an intervention. Mr. Ford wants parents to pay more attention to the activities in which their children engage.
I am now calling out on those parents, and I will say so in an unequivocal way, to take responsibility of their children. And it's simple as that for me. The church can only do so much. The schools can only do so much. The police can't be every single place at every single time. It is for us parents now, when they see things that they know is not the norm, when they are exposed to maladaptive behaviors from their children, to be able to say, my son or my daughter, this is not the way.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Christchurch West and Minister of Planning and Development, Dr. William Duguid, says the country is now hurting due to the death of Shonatan Chase. He has called on the entire nation to consider different ways of conflict resolution to avoid such unfortunate events.
It's time to step back. It's time to find other ways to resolve conflicts. The gun is not the way. Let us resolve conflicts by discussing and coming to a conclusion that which we all can walk away from. And this is a march today to send that message across Barbados that we need to do better throughout this country. We need to do better as a nation, and we all must work together to be able to achieve a better Barbados. This is not the way.
Minister Ford also says that the government will continue to fight the crime surge and gun violence.
This solidarity is within the full scope of the Barbados Labour Party, and as the government of the day, we are saying we are going to work by not only walking in leadership, but in terms of partnership with the people of this country, because this scourge of crime must be not the way how we understand the normal way of Barbadian life. It must not be.
2 people are being questioned by the police in relation to Shonatan's death. Akeem Klinkett, CBC News.
One woman had to be extracted from her vehicle by the jaws of life by fire officers this afternoon after an accident involving 3 vehicles. The vehicle in which she was traveling became sandwiched between a bus and a truck in the area of Prospect in St. James. As a result, the road was impassable for hours as emergency personnel worked feverishly to rescue her. 3 fire service appliances responded to the scene under the command of Divisional Officer Marlon Small, Station Officer Damien Bain, 2 sub-officers and 12 fire officers. The woman was taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital by ambulance. The Barbados Sugar Industry Limited has delivered approximately 39,000 tons of sugarcane so far for this year's harvest season. This from Chairman Mark Seeley, who has been providing a progress update. Rachel Agar tells us more.
Canes are being harvested and the trucks are rolling into Portville Sugar Factory in Rockhall, St. James, heavily laden. And Chairman of the Barbados Sugar Industry Limited, Mark Seeley, tells CBC News this year's sugar harvest has been going very well. He says this is the first year truckers own the bins used for hauling and tipping, as well as the trailers used for transporting the canes. Mr. Seeley says so far there have not been many challenges and the lines of communication remain open.
We've been delivering quite a lot of cane. Actually, we've had some very good days where we've delivered very close to 2,000 tons. And we did that for 3 or 4 days. So, of course, today is an off day. Today is Sunday, but we are hoping that next week, we can get back to delivering that kind of tonnage, which is good for the factory and good for us. So we want to congratulate the Portville team for doing a great job with the factory.
Mr. Seeley notes the contribution of cane for this year's harvest is from both the BSIL and the Agricultural Business Company Limited.
So far, we put in about, I would think, about 39,000 tons, all told for the industry. And we're looking at around 100,000 tons in total. So we still got a little ways to go, but of course I want to make it clear that the crop, the end of crop is not called by Barbados Sugar Industry Limited. The end of crop is called by Besco, who's the owner of the Portville team, the Portville factory.
Mr. Seeley remains confident that they will make their quota by the end of the crop. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
A local senior scientist says the recent outbreak of measles in the U.S. is a cause for concern. Director of the Center for Biosecurity Studies at the University of the West Indies Cape Hill campus, Dr. Kirk Douglas, says he is certain the Ministry of Health is monitoring the situation given the rise in the number of cases reported daily. He says the MMR vaccine is given during early childhood to prevent the transmission of measles, mumps and rubella, and notes measles is the most contagious infectious disease known.
It has a R0 value of around 15, which really means that one person with measles can infect another 15 persons or so, which is pretty high, and hence why there is a really strong initiative to vaccinate children at a very early age. Now, not everyone who contracts measles will particularly have a severe course of disease, but again, you don't know if you will be that one person or that percentage of people who would be hospitalized, who would actually develop pneumonia or even die.
Dr. Douglas adds that very young children are more susceptible to the disease. He says the issue of vaccine hesitancy from the COVID-19 pandemic has spilled over and continues to erode strides made in public health.
So I would strongly support the initiative to continue the MMR vaccination within Barbados and also within the Caribbean as well, because we know we have visitors who come to the island, and the risk of obviously someone traveling with measles is increased once you see the outbreaks in the U.S. start to increase and expand.
Barbadians are being encouraged to focus on Jesus' life and the trials he overcame during his earthly mission, specifically leading up to Easter. The advice from Canon Missioner and Rector at the St. George Parish Church, Senator Reverend Canon Dr. John Rogers. He says when it comes to representing the things of God, we must remain resolute in our approach. Reverend Rogers was delivering the sermon as Christians mark the start of Holy Week today on Palm Sunday.
Jesus held firm to his commitment to make God known in his world. But there's also another side to Jesus that we saw during this last week. People always think of Christians as these soft people because Jesus allowed people to kill him and all those kinds of things. But Jesus was very passionate for the things of God. That as a Christian people, yes, we'll be loving and compassionate. We'll turn the other cheek. We'll do all those things. But when it comes to the things of God, we will die for them.
Coming up after the break, we'll tell you about an adoption event with a difference. Dozens of dogs and cats have found new homes through an Adoption Day event organized by the Barbados Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, or RSPCA. The event took place today at the RSPCA's Spring Garden facility. There were scores of dogs and cats in need of a home, and they were on show for prospective new owners. Some of the furry felines and cute canines were selected by people attending. When CBC News visited just after midday, veterinarian Alexa Burrows said they had set an adoption target of 40 animals, and at that time, 30 had already been taken. She added that the response from the public was encouraging.
It's been really good. It's been really positive, especially for a first-time event. And so far, we've crossed over 200 people so far, and we're still going on with the process. But we're really happy with the turnout and with the support that we've gotten from all the donors, the sponsors, all the vendors here today as well with us. I feel good about it. I mean, it took a lot of work to put everything together, to get everybody to come together on one day to make it happen. So everybody volunteered their time, which was really good and really appreciated. And I hope that this is something that would continue on in the future.
Well, Wildy has started the BCA 3-day elite competition with a win as they defeated Empire by 5 wickets at Dash Valley today. Empire were held to 89 and 175 as Desmond Currency had a game figures of 11 for 87. Wildy in their innings scored 239 for 5 declared and 30 for 5. Meanwhile, defending champions Wanderers gained first innings points as their game with UWI ended in a draw at the 3Ws Oval. Scores UWI 294 and 116 for 2, Wanderers 358. At 4 squares, Superb Blend Gladiola and ESAFU Pickwick played to a draw. Scores Gladiola 284 and 195 for 3, Pickwick 306. And at Lucas Street, there was also a draw for Yorkshire and Windward. Yorkshire made 231 and 315. Windward 344 for 5 declared. Rico Wiggins and Seth Agar got centuries for Windward with 100 and 131 respectively. Well, the curtain came down on the 21st Jean Pierre Caribbean Youth Netball Tournament, but not before overall winners Trinidad and Tobago and the Barbados Baby Gems closed out with wins. By virtue of defeating the Baby Gems on Saturday night to claim the title, the Trinis got by St. Lucia 8-6, 18-3, 28-14 before closing out the win 34-21. Outside of ending the tournament unbeaten, they also took home the lion's share of the awards. Meanwhile, in the tournament's final game, the Baby Gems had a tough going against Grenada. The girls from the Spice Isle led the first 3 quarters at 10-4, 13-12, 21-19, but a late surge from the Baby Gems saw them outscore their opponents by 11 goals to 3 in the final quarter for them to win by 30-24. For the Baby Gems, goal shooter Mikel Ali scored 14 from 15 attempts, while sharing the goal attack babe Taisha Trotman scored 13 from 17 and Brianna Wallace 3 from 8. St. Lucia ended the tournament in 3rd position. Now, Ray Williams on board Caspian Sea rode away with the Easter Handicap yesterday. That was a feature race of the Barbados Turf Club's Easter Race Day at the Garrison Savannah. In a nail-biting finish, he just edged out Rashid Hughes and showed the money.
And away they go. Major Dan gets a beautiful break from on the inside. Between horses is Caspian Sea. On the outside, sweeping by is Show the Money. Along the rails is Dancing Prospector. Then comes Brenner Pass, Zazie, and Sir Jimmy is your back marker early as they go down the back stretch. And out front is Caspian Sea. He's on top. Along the rails is Major Dan. Show the Money is in 3rd. Brenner Pass gets ever closer. Also getting very close is Dancing Prospector. Sir Jimmy now coming from the rear. Zazie begins to drop out. 25 flat for the opening quarter as they race towards the quarter pole. And it is still Caspian Sea in front. He's in front now by 3 parts of a length. On the outside we can see Show the Money appearing. Here they come spinning out of the turn, and it is Show the Money on the outside. Brenner Pass. Caspian Sea is also tenacious on the inside. Show the Money continues, and down the stretch they come, and it is Show the Money and Caspian Sea. Show the Money, Caspian Sea. Show the Money and Caspian Sea go by together. Oh, it's a head bob. Dancing Prospector came from out of the clouds in 3rd. Very, very close. Jimmy was also rattling by, and they stopped the race in 107-2.
Former Vice President of the Barbados Football Association, Jabez Jack Bovell, was remembered as a generous man who left a massive impact on several of the island's junior footballers. Bovell, the founder and director of the Barbados Soccer Academy, was laid to rest yesterday following a service of thanksgiving at the All Saints Anglican Church in Pleasant Hall, St. Peter. Among those in attendance was the Minister of Educational Transformation, Senator Chad Blackman, Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, Charles Griffith, and the BFA President, Randy Harris. Delivering a tribute, Harris said Bovell's passing is a big loss and his work in football will never be forgotten. Bovell, who also served as a junior and senior national men's team manager, died suddenly at home on March 10th at the age of 69.
Well, that's our news for tonight. But before we go, just to let you know to tune in at 8 o'clock for The People's Business. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night.